Do you want to hear a knock knock joke? Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. I guess I will classify this as the E46 build breakdown part 2. Emphasize breakdown because my car is dying. So let's start from the beginning. I documented all of my timing issues on my Instagram from January to June of 2022. Throughout those first 6 months, I drove the car with bad timing. That means the car was out of time. That means Vanos wasn't activated, Vanos was not working. It's not the bad timing that has caused the problem that this car has right now, which is a rod tick, rod knock, whatever you want to call it. It's progressively becoming a rod knock. It's just slow. During the whole rebuild process of this motor back in January, a lot went right, but also a lot went wrong. And I think the wrong has overdone the right. Rod knocks aren't common on B30s or just M54s in general. You don't see it often. Something had to go wrong in the rebuild for this to happen. The engine just wasn't rebuilt properly, and now I'm suffering the consequences. I just had an oil change done in the first week of December. During that oil change, copper/metal was found in my oil filter. It was also magnetic, so you know what that means. The motor is going. I love how I said in my last video that as of this video, the motor has 157,000 miles on it. Right now it's running well. So yeah, at the time of that video back in September or October, the car was running great. I didn't have any issues. Here we are now, it is January 2023, and it's been a month since I found out that this car has a rod knock. Yeah, the car is on its way out, and I really can't do anything about it. I can't save it. This motor that is currently in here right now will be driven until it dies. However, I'm no longer daily driving this car, thank God. I have picked up another car, which I will showcase at the end of this video. Before I do that, let me actually get back to the story at hand, which is why this engine is dying. My newly swapped B30. It's been in here for only a year and it's already going. In February, I had the car taken in to have it retimed after the first rebuild process. The camshaft impulse sending wheel, which is the exhaust camshaft wheel, had metal shaved off of it because it hit the camshaft position sensor. Basically, destroyed the camshaft position sensor while shaving off metal off of the Vanos and off of the impulse sending wheel. At the time when that happened, I didn't know. I just remember that night when the engine was turned over, it was making a very large clacking sound, and then it finally smoothed out. When it smoothed out, that's because the metal had already been shaved and there was nothing to make contact with anymore. I didn't find that out until March when I decided to take the valve cover off myself with a couple friends, and that's when I found a loose sending wheel because it was never tightened, and somehow the motor didn't grenade itself in the process. That was the early sign of failure with this motor. That's when metal was shaved in this motor. I didn't get the car perfectly timed until June, and that's when I had a new timing chain tensioner put on because those were both bad. The chain itself had bad teeth on it. I also had a new Vanos put on, so everything on this thing is new. From June to September is the only time I was able to drive this car without issue, or without timing issues, or now metal issues. I did happen to have a metal scare in August when I had an oil change done in late August. So during that time, it looked like big chunks of metal, and it probably was. I opted to just have a regular oil change and to come back within 1,000, 2,000 miles, change the oil again. So I did that in October. Changed the oil, filter was clean. There was nothing in it. Fast forward from October to December, we're here with metal, copper. So what does that mean for this car? It's going to sit for a while. Thankfully, because I have picked up my new car, I can stop daily driving this. And having driven my new car now, new to me, for about a month now, I really appreciate not having to daily drive this thing anymore because it is backbreaking with coilovers, and I've done too much to daily drive it at this point. I've been wanting to keep miles off of it anyway. I didn't want to get another car with this circumstance, but it is what it is. For most of you that know me, this car has been my life for about 6 years now. Since I started driving it 6 years ago. It's been everywhere with me through college and beyond, and I think it's finally telling me that it wants to rest, so I'm gonna let it rest. That doesn't mean content's gonna stop. I'm still here going to produce content for the car. There's still a lot of things that I have done to it that I was gonna make videos on anyway, which was gonna just be me sitting still talking about it and showing, you know, clips and pictures and whatever. So that's still gonna be done. But this car will not be driven much. It won't be driven far because at any moment I feel like it could grenade. It is what it is. You heard the clips for yourself. It's not a diesel valve, it's not the Vanos. What are the future plans for this car? All I can tell you is that an engine will be swapped. When will it be done? I don't know. What kind of engine will go in the car? I don't know. The car runs and drives as it is right now, but it's only going to be seeing the road on occasions. This car will be coming back better than before, and hopefully in the dream spec that I have always wanted it to be. So with that said, we're going to introduce the new daily. I have twins! Not in that way. Not in that way. This is my new daily. It is a 2002 BMW 325 Ci convertible. It is also Orient blue, just like my sedan. So yeah, you just listened to everything I just said about my sedan. So that's why I have this. This is the new project daily. Because it's not perfect, but it does run and drive. I'll give you a quick rundown of everything that it has.
We're gonna dive in to the rundown.
It is a 325 Ci, so that means it's an M54B30. It is a factory 5-speed manual, which I love. It has the factory sport package, so it came with style 44 from the factory and the sport suspension. It has a sport steering wheel, sport seats, which are severely worn, at least the driver's side is severely worn. The rest of it seems to be pretty decent. I've already given it a decent cleaning, but there's only so much you can do to tan. I probably should steam clean it. I will attempt to do that in the future. At the time of this video, this is filmed on December 30th, 2022. I've only had this thing for less than a month. It's a bug, sorry. It's been my daily to get me to and from work for the time being, and I haven't had much free time to clean it up completely like I wanted to. Cosmetically, it is a little rough around the edges. The hood is extremely faded. Oxidation is to the max. I don't even know if a buff can save it. It needs a new front bumper because this one's a little cracked around the edges, paint's cracking. Some of the fender liners kind of messed up. It needs new inner trunk lights because those are faded. The car right now, as of this video, has 214,785 miles. I was told that the engine was swapped. I don't have documentation of that, but the motor apparently has 130-something thousand miles on it, and the chassis and transmission has 214,000. Transmission works well, shifts smoothly, engine runs really well. Minus a minor overheating issue that it's been having, which I will drop a picture of what happened to me a couple days ago. Yeah, it left me stranded on the side of the road, but not for too long because I was able to get to where I needed to go after letting it cool off because nothing blew up, thankfully, but that did happen. Things that I have done to this car since owning it within the last 3 weeks. I have already swapped the headlights. This car now has OEM xenon headlights. It originally came with halogens, also known as cataracts. Yeah. Well, just look at the picture, like it's terrible, which I will have a separate video coming very soon on that. I have also swapped the shift boot and radio and the center console ashtray because those were kind of worn. Sound system is the factory Harman Kardon. I can really tell the difference now between Harman Kardon and BAF sound. If you guys have watched my previous video on my sedan when I did the Harman Kardon to BAF sound swap, when I listen to this car with the factory business radio and Harman Kardon speakers versus my sedan with an aftermarket head unit and BAF sound, it is literally night and day. The car already has had the front shocks replaced on it and front brakes, so it has new front shocks and brakes. Rears are blown. But overall for a daily, and that is what I'm trying to keep my head at, it is a daily, which means don't modify it. And if you know me, I'm gonna want to modify it.
1 minute later.
I will tastefully modify this one as much as I did my sedan.
Come on, man.
And you guys will probably see everything that I do to this car. That just means more content for you guys, more information. Also, this car has an E46 mirror glass, which is being replaced today. The E36 mirror does not fit the E46 housing whatsoever, but it is currently glued onto an E46 mirror because I think that one's broken. The glass is broken. So yeah, that's gonna be fixed as well. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and this is not how I envision 2023 starting, you know, with my sedan braking like it is and dying slowly. I was fully prepared to go into show season with that car and take it out to events and just meet people, but I can still do that. I can still meet a lot of you guys, depending on location. I'll just be in this car. As always, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next one.